I got a quick video today. I want to talk about Destiny both from a personal and a business perspective. Both are important. I want to clear some things up because, as you've noticed, I've put out a lot of Marvel Rivals content recently, and it might look like I've just completely switched from Destiny. So I'm going to address that, especially for my longtime Destiny subscribers and my new Marvel Rivals ones. Yes, I'm taking a much needed break from Destiny, but that doesn't mean I'm done covering it. I spent a decade making content for that game. And I still love it, but there's a few reasons I'm stepping back for now. And in the background, I got a 69 kill comp game in Marvel Rivals, so enjoy that while we kind of talk this over. From the personal side, again, I love the game. I've made content for Destiny for 10 years, a decade, over 1,000 videos straight. But after all that time, the state of the game's become really exhausting because it's been stuck in a loop. I mean, when I saw the Dreadnought reveal, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, Frontiers, but for years now, a lot of what we get is old content repackaged one way or another. And the few things that are truly new, they often get lost in these seasonal content and they're quickly forgotten. I just watched the new live stream. I mean, we're going back to a year one location and with some of the big rewards being attuning things like Relentless. Okay, sure, new perks are nice. I'm always down for a refresh, but it doesn't really excite me. And the reason it doesn't excite me is that Destiny has been repeating itself for a long time. We do get new exotics. Those are cool, but new armor and exotics are rare now. And it just really feels like they're just the cherry on top of the same cake we've been eating for many years. Let me be clear up front. There are amazing people in the Destiny community. I met so many great players, people, supporters over the years, but at the same time, the overall atmosphere has been draining, man. Like, Destiny has a ton of ego, a lot of toxicity, a lot of unnecessary negativity, and I've seen it, I've read it, I've dealt with it daily for years. So stepping back has been a relief, just getting away from that. I mean, I recently watched a big streamer dive into Destiny, and they've been shocked on how the community acts. I mean, you see it on social media, in game, I mean, even in YouTube comments, people just come in and be nasty for no reason at all. It wasn't always like this, but it is now. And I worry that if things don't change, the only people left in the community will be the ones driving others away. Destiny content is tough to keep up with. It takes me a lot of time to make quality videos. It does. I've never been the quote first to upload when something new drops, but I do take pride in what I do and in my work. I've always had a method on how I break things down. But the problem with Destiny content is that it has a very short shelf life. Most views happen within the first few days, maybe max a week. And also, as a creator, you're competing with other creators who either get early access or they push content out instantly by taking other accounts, getting through it quickly. It's just nearly impossible unless I do that. And even if I make something unique, I know there's something unique. I know there's a lot to learn and new stuff people have been talking about. It's hard to get people to watch because most players feel that it's, quote, already been figured out and they've moved on. So that cycle is really frustrating. After a decade of covering the game, I feel like I've broken down almost everything. I mean, range, bloom, perks, interactions, percentages, you name it. It is not just me, there's a ton of people. A lot of it's been explored. And of course, new mechanics come in like bolt charge. They're fun to dissect, get into. But a lot of the Destiny core systems are set. So when Bungie drops a new hand cannon that's almost identical to an older one with just slightly different stats or perks, it doesn't feel new. We've had that problem for a long time. And for me as a creator, it feels like I'm analyzing the same thing 13 different ways. And there's kind of a lack of discovery and it makes it harder to stay engaged. Like, I just saw Palindrome come back and then people are up and down on that. And the game itself used to have a ton of wonder, but there's data mines, there's repeated perks, reused models. And it's just, again, the same churning loop of content. Like, a lot of that magic just feels lost. And that's why I'm excited for Frontiers. So now I want to talk about just the channel side, the professional side, why I've been making Marvel Rivals content. Like, first, I needed to see if I could. That's a me thing. I spent a decade covering just one game, Destiny. Again, I love it. And I always believed that my content, like deep down, could translate to other games. I just had never done it. But it turns out it does. It can. It's been incredibly rewarding to see new players find value in my videos. Like, for real. It's why I do it. And I've seen other creators branch out when a new game drops. They come back to Destiny. I've never done that. I've never even been in a position to do that until now. And while Destiny's figuring out where it's going, it's been a great time for me to create elsewhere. Here's a perfect example. My Groot guide. The very first Marvel Rivals video I made. And going back to with how I break things down. I don't watch other videos before I make something. The only thing I do know is word of mouth between friends. And in that Groot video, I did what I always do with how I break down Destiny stuff, and I felt there was a ton to learn from the video, and it's on track to becoming the most viewed video on my channel. It's still getting views, and why is it still getting views? Because Marvel Rivals is evergreen content. And evergreen content is defined that content that remains relevant and helpful over time, even after it's published. So when I make an in-depth hero guide for Marvel Rivals for Magic, Storm, the Human Torch, Groot, it remains useful for anyone picking up the game, even months later, or they're looking for a new character to learn. Players are always looking for different ways to improve, and these guides are there for them if they want to watch them. And you compare that to Destiny, something like Glacioclasm 2024, a weapon that needs coverage. It's in that loop, it's a quote new weapon, but the interest and the lifespan are just so short. And I have to be first. And sure, some exotics and key weapons have evergreen potential, but those are rare. So for Marvel Rivals, even if I do come back to Destiny, I know that people could still find value in these videos, and I feel like I'm contributing to this community, the Marvel Rivals community. And as a creator, that makes me feel good. And currently, from a professional standpoint, taking a break from Destiny has been a good decision for me. Because again, for 3 years, I'd put out a great video, at least I felt was great. It would gain like 10, 15 subscribers. And with covering Rivals for a month, over 20. And I feel like I didn't really fully hit my stride with Marvel's Rivals content. And more people are finding my content, which is great. Because again, I don't believe my quality of work has changed. I mean, the only difference is the game. But what also changed is the community response. Again, it's really nice to see happy people. But with that said, of course, there's always going to be bad apples, no matter where you are. But the level of positivity in my comment section has been refreshing. Players genuinely discussing the game, helping each other out, sharing tips, just having fun. That's the biggest thing. I'm also having fun. And I think that's showing in the content that I'm making. So to my Destiny audience, I'm not done with Destiny. I will be back. But for now, I am taking a step back to focus on something fresh. And I appreciate every single one of you that stuck with me, whether it's Destiny, Marvel Rivals, or whatever comes next. So I will be back at some point. I'm not sure when. And when I do, I hope to see you there. And the last little bit here, just for my longtime subscribers, a quick health update. It's been a little bit over a year since everything happened. And actually this week, we're close to making a final diagnosis. And I will say what's going on with me has been rough, and a lot of signs are pointing to amyloidosis. We just need to confirm it and figure out which type, but there's a ton of treatment for it, and everything that I've been doing for the past year, I'm responding to, which is good for the overall plan long term. Since I'm responding well now, further treatment's just going to be even better, but whatever it is, I'm going to hit it head on. Everything's going to be fine. And honestly, Marvel Rivals has been great with everything going on, because I can kind of make videos at my own pace, get them out, and feel good about them. Whereas a new Destiny exotic or whatever comes out, I kind of have to get it out in a certain time frame, and that's been difficult for me. But like I said, I'll keep you guys updated, and everything's going to be okay. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. All of you, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.